Good morning and welcome to Yoga at Home. Just making our way down onto our mat, getting into a comfortable seated position. Today we have a focus for this class on twists. So we're going to give our body a little bit of love with some twists, our internals and our external body as well. So let's get started. So just bringing your legs into a cross-legged position. If that's uncomfortable for you, then maybe you'd like to use some blocks or pillows. Just pop them underneath your knees. Use your props. Make sure you've got some props around when you're doing your yoga class, especially if you're just not feeling that you've got the stretches in your arms and the legs that you need to, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. So if this is where your legs are at the moment, then, pop some pillows underneath. So with the twist this morning, we're just going to pop our hands up to the ceiling, just looking up to the ceiling, stretching those arms and fingers out, drawing those shoulders down your back at the same time. And so just looking up to the ceiling. Now let's just bring that chin down towards your chest. A little bit of a neck stretch this morning. Again, working those shoulders down your back while you're drawing those fingers up. So it's that opposite sort of pull, pulling down while pulling up. And then bring that chin back down to the chest again. Just feeling a little bit of a stretch in that back neck area, the shoulders, the fingers. Maybe you'd like to just clench your fists. We don't really give our hands or fingers any love during the day. They do a lot of work for us, bringing that chin back down onto the chest. Bring your hands down through heart center. We're just going to shrug those shoulders. So just bring those shoulders away from your ears. Pop your hands on your knees or somewhere that's comfortable. So really shrugging those shoulders up. Working towards the back. 3 more times. And then going the other way. So this time bringing the shoulders forward. Three more times. Now bringing our legs forward, let's just bring them out straight. Let's just give them a bit of a wobble because we are doing a few twists early in the yoga practice this morning. And then we're going to bring our right leg, just lift our knee up and then bring our right leg over so that you've got your right foot near your left knee. And then you may find that you want to bring this one under first, similar to me. And then bringing that left leg over to the right side. So depending on where you can sit this, you might find that your legs are a bit like this. Again, using your bolsters or for pillows for props. Or then bringing both knees over the top of each other. And still early into this twist. So just making sure that your buttocks is nice and flat on the mat. And then your feet may be in a rested position or still, because if you aren't able to get your knees right over. So just use props and pillows somewhere that's nice and comfortable for you. So arms up to the ceiling, again looking up, raising those eyes up, those shoulders down. Then bringing that right arm over the left knee, and then the left arm or hand just tucks behind your buttocks. And then just slowly coming from the torso up to the shoulders, around to the head and neck. Just a gentle twist. So a little bit of a counter lever with that right hand, just to give you that twist around. But you're twisting from your torso, lower back, just really gentle. Breathing in, nice deep breaths into this asana. See if you can go a little bit more into the breath. One more deep breath. Coming back to the front, and then arms up to the ceiling again, and then over to the other side. So this time left hand over the right knee, right hand behind the buttocks, and then again coming from the torso up with the twist. So not twisting with the head and neck first, bringing the head and neck through last. Keeping it straight if you want to, or bring it around to the back, depending on how your body feels this morning. Nice deep breaths. Up through the belly, into the chest and lungs. In through the nose and out through the nose. One last breath. Coming back around to the front again, arms up to the ceiling. This time we're going to roll over, just gently over the front of the mat, depending on your hands and arms are. Keeping those shoulders away from your ears again. Just really dropping those shoulders down the back. Feeling that lovely stretch in the glutes. A little bit in the hamstrings, lower back, breathing into the pose. One more deep breath. Using our hands to press ourselves back up to seated position. And like every asana in yoga, off to the other side. So because we have our legs on top of each other this time, we're going to do the twists. So we've got that emphasis on the left side this time with the left leg up. Again, if you're not able to get that full twist with your feet, then bring your blocks and pop them, or some pillows. Pop them underneath so it's nice and comfortable. You need to be you should be in a seated position that you feel nice and comfortable in regards to doing the twists in. So arms up, chin up, eyes up to the ceiling. This time bring our right hand over our left knee and our left hand behind our buttocks. And again, twisting from the torso. Nice deep breaths. Feeling a little bit more movement in the torso, the lower back, the shoulders and the neck. Last breath, nice and deep. Coming back around to the front again, arms up to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears, and then over, left arm on right knee, or left knee actually, and then feeling that twist around to the right side. Again, nice deep breaths. Moving into this asana. Moving through the twist a little bit more. One more breath. Coming back up to forward, arms up to the ceiling, and then gently rolling over again. Holding here for one more breath. Coming up to the seated position, uncurling the legs. We're just going to swing around to the lengthwise position on our mat. Bringing our hands forward, slowly bringing ourselves down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Then just giving ourselves a hug. Just a counter position here, hugging out the twist. Bring that left leg forward, just hovering it up the top of the mat, stretching that leg right out, squeezing that right knee in, and then moving it to the other side, squeezing that left leg out, in, stretching that right leg out. Just feeling that lovely stretch between the hip and the toe, and then doing this a couple more times, breathing in, Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Hugging our knees again. Nice big hug. Just rolling up to seated on the mat. Bringing those legs over to the left side and rolling over to tabletop position. So coming into tabletop position, knees and hips nice and straight, hands and shoulders straight in alignment as well. So coming here, we're going to bring our right hand into the middle of the mat, left hand raised up to the ceiling. Nice side stretch. And then coming back down, swinging through for thread the needle underneath and then working towards your ear on the mat. Now if you find that your ear can't make it onto the mat, again grab that bolster or those pillows and use that prop. Popping your hand on your hip or arm up to the ceiling. Really working towards those shoulders, having a lovely twist there. Finding some space. Nice deep breaths. Holding here for 2 more breaths. Bring the hand back down onto the mat. Pushing up with the hands, not at your head or your neck. And then coming back up to square, all fours. And then off to the other side. So left hand into the middle of the mat, right hand up to the ceiling. Pulling those fingers up to the ceiling and then threading through for thread the needle. And then off to the other side with the ear. Again, using your prop. Holding here, hand on the hip or hand up towards the ceiling. Again, pulling those shoulders back, finding that space. Deep breaths. Two more breaths. Bring that hand back down onto the mat. Pushing up with the hand, coming back to all fours. Just positioning ourselves in all fours, tucking those toes, bringing your hands to the front of the mat. We're going to go for our first downward facing dog. Leaning back, pushing up with those toes and feet, coming into downward facing dog. Keeping those knees bent if you need to, so you can get that lovely straight line between your fingertips and your buttocks. Let your head just hang, bring your chest towards your thighs. Walking that dog out. Finding some movement in those calves. Straightening up those legs or keeping them bent depending on how comfortable you are in your own dog. Nice deep breaths here. 3 deep breaths. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Last breath. Just bending those knees, either jumping forward or stepping forward to the front of the mat, forward fold. Holding in the forward fold, bending those knees a little bit if you need to. Finding that stretch behind the legs is a little bit too much, or you're unable to pop your hands on the mat. Letting that head and neck just hang, shoulders hang. One more breath. Bringing your head up to a half lift, nice straight back, eyes forward. Forward fold, bending those knees. We're going to peel ourselves up to the ceiling. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up to the ceiling, shoulders away from your ears. Gentle back bend. Coming down through heart center and into mountain pose. Bringing those hands beside you, facing out, finding some movement in your feet. Flatten those feet into your mat. Really feeling like you're rooted to the ground like a tree. Tucking that chin in a little bit, tucking your buttocks, tucking your stomach back. Just giving those knees a gentle bend. Holding here for 2 deep breaths. Just going in some flow at the moment, so coming to the front of the mat if you're not already. Just bending those knees a little bit. Sun salutation A, arms up to the ceiling, gentle back bend. Down through heart center, bending those knees, forward fold. Half lift, eyes forward. Forward fold. Left foot back, right foot back. Down on your knees for chaturanga if need be. Scraping those elbows down through the rib cage and up for cobra. Untucking those toes. Now tucking those toes, pushing up for downward facing dog. Just giving that dog a bit of a walk out. We're going to peel our left leg up towards the ceiling. So pointing those toes and peeling your left leg up towards the ceiling. Nice straight lines, or as best as possible. And then bending that knee over to the right side. Or bending the tippy toes over to the right side. Just for a lovely hip opener and twist here. Holding here for 1 more breath. Bringing that knee through to your chest and then bringing it to the front of the mat. Bending that knee, then right foot to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Half lift looking forward. Forward fold. Bending those knees again. Peeling up to the ceiling. Arms up, gentle back bend. Coming down through heart center. Holding that breath in mountain pose just for a second before we go to the right side. Arms up to the ceiling. Gentle back bend. Forward fold. Bending those knees. Half lift. A little bit quicker if you like. Forward fold. Right foot back. Left foot back. Down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog this time. Tucking those toes. Downward facing dog. Finding your space in downward facing dog. Walking those legs out. Again, bringing that right leg up, peeling it up to the ceiling. Bringing that right toe over to the left side, opening up your hips. Don't forget to breathe. Bringing that knee through again to the front of the mat. Stepping forward, left foot, right foot. Forward fold, half lift. Forward fold. Again, peeling ourselves up towards the ceiling. Gentle back bend. Coming down through heart center. Bring yourself to the middle of the mat and turning around so that you are sideways to the mat. Just give yourself a bit of a shake out after that flow. And then opening up your legs to wide leg. Now, tucking those toes in a little bit if you feel a little bit slippery with this, and just being in a position that's comfortable for your legs and your own stance. Everybody is different, so bring your hands into heart center. Just bringing the buttocks towards the back of the mat, leaning forward. Just finding some lovely balance. If you can't get your balance, pop your hands on the mat. If you need to use your blocks, please bring your blocks over as well. Holding here, slight bend in the knees. Nice deep breaths. If you can find a little bit more space, then find some more space. Tucking those toes inwards, bit pigeon pose. Bring the right hand onto the mat. And then again, peeling that left hand up to the ceiling. Holding here for one more breath. And then threading that needle through again, this time either just below the knee, on the calf, or down near the ankle. And then hand on the hip or peeling up to the ceiling again. Lovely side twist. Really giving those shoulders some love this morning. Nice deep breaths. Bring that hand back down again, securely on your mat, lifting yourself up, bringing both hands down onto the mat. If you need to give your legs a bit of a rest, just bend those knees in and then come back out again. So this time with our left hand in the middle of the mat, right hand peel that up to the ceiling. Feeling that lovely twist, lower back, buttocks, bringing that through again wherever's comfortable for you on your leg, but just not on your knee or your ankle. And then either hand on your hip or up towards the ceiling again. You may leave your hand on the mat, as long as you're getting a little bit of a twist there. Really working with those shoulders. Holding here for one more breath. Coming back down again, using that hand to bring you up nice and solid there. Hands together. We're going to heel toe into the middle of the mat and then come down onto a squat. So I'm just going to go sideways for squat. Popping those toes out. If you want to go sideways on your mat, then bring your toes and your feet to the sides of the mat and then gently bring yourself down to squat. If you need to use your blocks with squat as well, or your bolster or pillows. Gently down, popping your props where you need to in squat, bringing those hands into heart center, pulling those elbows, using those elbows to pull out those knees outwards. And if you'd like to go for an extended stretch, just bringing those fists together and then using those to stretch out. Lovely hip opener here. Squat is a great asana to use on a regular basis, opening up your hips. Again, using your pillows or your props to sit in squat. Holding here for 2 more breaths. Leaning forward into the bows, bringing yourself down to tabletop position, tucking those toes, because we're going to give them some love now. So tucking those toes in, leaning back, either bringing your hands forward and just leaning back into your toes, giving them a nice stretch. Just going down for like a child's pose position, but with your toes tucked. Or coming up slowly to a seated position. Keeping those ankles as straight as possible. Hands in heart center. Holding here for 2 breaths. Leaning forward, untucking those toes, popping those feet nice and flat. Just the counter position, hands in heart center or on your knees. Bringing our feet over to the left side, rolling back down onto our buttocks as we finish off our class this morning, rolling down onto our back, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, shoulders, head and neck last, bringing those legs in, giving a lovely hug. This time bringing our left knee down, our right ankle across our left knee. So it's in a triangle position, our leg, threading that needle through with your fingers and hands again on both hands. And then just gently stretching that left knee towards your chest, where you've got your elbow from your right arm, just gently pushing that right leg away. Just feeling that lovely twist and stretch. Two more breaths. Bring that left leg down onto the mat, right leg down onto the mat, swapping over to the other side. Threading that left arm through, bringing that right knee towards the chest, just gently pushing that left knee up towards the ceiling with the left elbow. Shoulders on the mat. Nice deep breaths. One more breath. Bringing those knees together, giving yourself one last hug before we stretch out that left leg. Let it hover for a couple of seconds on the top of the mat, and then let it rest on the mat. Stretching out that right leg, let it hover, and then stretching out on the mat. Coming down to Savasana. If you're joining us for Savasana, please spend about 1.5 to 2 minutes on Savasana. I'll be leaving you in a few seconds, so I'll just settle you into Savasana before I leave you. So stretching out those toes, letting them flop over to the side of the mat, tucking in those shoulders, hands up towards the ceiling. Close their eyes gently. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. Feeling your whole body melt towards your mat. That includes your face, your eyes, your ears, your forehead, your head. Nice deep breaths. Thank you for joining me at Yoga at Home with a focus on twists today. Namaste and have a great day.